Today let's study about the first chapter of 7th class, reading maps of different kinds. Today we are going to study the importance of studying different maps. Here you can see the four different pictures. These pictures shows you different landform. You know that the world in which we live is full of variety. You can see so much variation on this planet Earth. Land is not uniform everywhere. In some places you can see hills. Some places are plain and near to the sea. Some places are desert regions where you cannot see the growth of forest or huge plants or trees, and some areas which are completely covered with ice. Here you can see the ice covered continent of Antarctica. You know that Antarctica is the southernmost portion of our planet Earth. You can see it in the South Pole. So these four different pictures describes you the variation which exists in the world in which we live. As you can see the given figure 1.1, this is the figure of evergreen forest in Western Ghats of Karnataka. You know that Karnataka is the state in the southernmost part of our country. Here you can see the evergreen forest. See, the land is fully covered with lush green trees everywhere. And in the next figure you can see the Cocana beach, which is in Brazil of the continent called South America. You can see this is the plain region. All the plain regions are near to the sea, because you know that water flows from hilly regions to plateau regions and then it goes to the plain regions, and finally those rivers merge into the sea. So here you can see the beautiful Cocana beach, which is in Brazil, and in the next figure you can see the oasis. This is the oasis. Oasis means a pool of water in the desert region. Here you can see a pool of water, and surrounding this water you can see some trees, isn't it? You know that desert is a region which is empty. There you can find only sandy soil with no trees. Few trees you can find only near the oasis where water is present. Apart from that, you can find only few other trees like cactus, but no big trees like how you can see in the evergreen forest. The land is empty, barren. So this is the oasis of the biggest desert called Sahara Desert, which is in the country called Libya of the Africa continent. And here you can see the ice covered continent Antarctica, also called as white continent because the land is fully covered with ice throughout the year. So the question is, why there is so much variation on this planet Earth and how to study about it? Why so much of variation exists? To study this, we need to study different kinds of maps. If we study the different kinds of maps, we'll come to know why the variation exists on this planet Earth. Why some places are hilly, why some places are plain, why some places are desert regions where no plants or trees are grown, where there is no rainfall for a long period of time, and why some regions are covered with ice. To get the questions of all these answers, we have to study the different kinds of maps. By studying these different kinds of maps, we can come to know why the variation exists. So maps are very useful to study the physical features of the earth. Okay, So let's move on. Here you can see some questions in this box, and you can answer all these questions by looking at the map which is given in your next page. See, the first question is, Meher went to Bhopal from Hyderabad. In which direction did he travel? Meher went to Bhopal from Hyderabad. Where Meher was? He was in Hyderabad. From Hyderabad he went to Bhopal. So in which direction did he travel? Let us see the answer for this question. See, Meher lives in Hyderabad. Here is Hyderabad. From Hyderabad he went to Bhopal. Where is Bhopal? Bhopal is here, right? Hyderabad is here and here is Bhopal. So in which direction Meher traveled? See the arrow mark. Arrow mark is rising upwards. You know that top indicates north, bottom indicates south, right hand side indicates east, and left hand side indicates west. Okay, so see the direction is upwards. The direction is, the arrow mark is rising upwards. So Meher traveled in the north direction. The answer for this question is Meher traveled in the north direction. Now let's move to the next question. Ashok went to Chennai from Lucknow. In which direction did he travel? Ashok went to Chennai. Where did he go? He went to Chennai. Where he was staying? He was staying in Lucknow. Here is Lucknow. Okay, he was in Lucknow, and from Lucknow he went to Chennai. Okay, so see the arrow mark, it is coming downwards. Okay, so as it is coming downwards, we know that the direction in which he traveled is south. Okay, then next question. Regina went to Bhubaneswar from Mumbai. In which direction did she travel? Where did she go? She went to Bhubaneswar from Mumbai. She was staying in Mumbai. Mumbai is here. From Mumbai she went to Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar is here. So what is the direction? See, arrow mark is going towards right hand side. So the direction in which she traveled is east direction. Okay, then Viprinchu went to Jaipur from Kohima. In which direction did he travel? He went to Jaipur from Kohima. He was staying in Kohima, and from Kohima he went to Jaipur. So where is Kohima? Here is Kohima. From Kohima he went to Jaipur. Jaipur is the capital of Rajasthan state. So from Kohima he went to Jaipur. So how the arrow mark is? The arrow mark is moving towards left side. So he traveled in the west direction. I hope you got the answers of all the questions. I hope you understood it. So this is how maps are helpful to know the directions. By studying the map, you can easily understand, you can easily know in which direction you have traveled. Okay, so all this is possible because of maps. Maps are very useful to know the directions. Not only directions, as I said here before, maps are useful to know the physical features of the earth. Okay, one can know the physical features of the earth by studying maps. For that, we have to study different kinds of maps. The one map which we have seen, through that map we have studied the directions. Okay, so in order to study the physical features of the earth, you have to study the physical map. Okay, before studying the physical map, let's talk about symbols. You know that every map has symbols. Here you have some symbols: point symbol, line symbol, and area symbol. Why do we use symbols? We know that we cannot draw the physical objects on the map as it is, right? So, like if you take an example of a tree, if I want to show a tree on the map, can I draw such a huge tree on the map? No, it's not possible. So what I have to do? I have to draw the symbol of the tree. Can I draw the big classroom on the map? No, I have to use the symbol for it. So symbols are very much useful to show the physical objects, whatever can be the physical object, whether it is a tree or a classroom or post office, whatever. So why do we use point symbol? You have been using point symbol since your last classes, so you might be aware of this, that we use point symbol to show the capital cities, as you have seen in the map just now. Here you can see that point symbol is used to mark the capital cities, to mark the capital of Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar, to mark the capital of Rajasthan, Jaipur, to mark the capital of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, to mark the capital of Telangana, Hyderabad, to mark all the capital cities we have used point symbol. So point symbol is used to mark the important towns, cities. Okay, then moving towards line symbol. Why do we use line symbol? As very clearly it is mentioned to you, line symbol is used to show the rivers, how the rivers are flowing, in which direction. To mark the flow of the river, we use river symbol on a map. Now moving towards the next symbol, that is area symbol. We use area symbol to show the area, whether it can be a playground, whether it can be a school, whether it can be classroom, whatever it is, to show the area of so and so, we use area symbol. Okay, so here point symbol, to mark Delhi we use point symbol. You know, Delhi is the national capital territory of our country, so to mark the national capital territory we used point symbol. Point symbol can be used to mark other important towns, not only capital cities. It can also be used to show important towns and important cities. Okay, not only capital cities, other important towns and cities. Coming to line symbol is used for other purposes too, not only to show the course of river. Line symbol can also be used to show the railway track, as you can see in the given figure here. See, rail or track line is drawn here with the help of the line symbol. Okay, then moving to the area symbol, as I told you, area symbol is used to show the area of anything, area of the playground, area of the school, area of the classroom, area of your house, whatever it can be. So these are called as real symbols, as we show the boundary, as we show the exact boundary of the playground or the school or whatever it is. So we call this as real symbol. Okay, thus all the physical objects are shown on the map with the help of point, line or an area symbol. To show any physical object we use these three symbols on the map mostly. To show the capital cities, other important towns or other cities, we use point symbol. To show the railway track, to show the flowing of the course of a river, we use line symbol. To show the boundary of something, to show the boundary of any building, school building, playground, whatever it is, we use area symbol. So these three symbols are very, very important. Now the most important topic, that is physical maps. Let us study what these physical maps are. The name itself says use. Physical map means map which is used to study the physical features of the earth. Okay, physical maps are used to show, to learn the physical features of the earth. What are physical features? Physical features in the sense how the landform is, whether it is a plain region, a plateau region or a hilly region. We can study about any particular region with the help of the physical map. Physical map shows the landform. Okay, in your 6th class you have already studied about plain, plateau and hilly regions. So how the region is, whether it is plain, whether it is plateau, whether it is hilly, that you can study with the help of physical maps. Physical map shows the variety of landforms, and at the same time we can also know the height. So there are the two important uses of physical maps. By studying the physical maps you can know the variety of landform, how the land is, whether it is a plain region, plateau region or hilly region, that you can know. And at the same time you can also know the height. Physical map is also helpful to depict the height. Depict means to show. Okay, it is used to show the height of places. So with the help of physical maps you can know the variety of landform, and at the same time you can also know the height. Okay, you can take an atlas and you can study in the atlas. With the help of the atlas you can come to know the area in which you are living is which type of landform. Is it a plain region, a plateau region or a hilly region? You can come to know by studying the physical map, and at the same time you can also know the height of the place. Okay, how, what is the height of the place? You know, all the heights are calculated from sea level. So from sea level, how far is your region? Okay, what is the height from the sea level to your place, whether it is 400 meters, 500 meters, whatever it is, that you can know with the help of physical map. So it has two uses. It is used to know the variety of landforms, and it is used to know the height of a place. Got it? Then here you have one drawing of Nimpur village. See, this is drawing, it's not a map, right? You can see the beautiful drawing here of Nimpur village. See, here you have a sea course. Here you can see the rivers. You can see the rivers flowing from the hilly regions towards the plateau regions and then towards the plain, and finally they are draining into the sea. Here you can see some fields, you can see some houses. These are the houses of the people living in the Nimpur village, and here at the top of the hill you can see one temple. Okay, now this is the drawing of the Nimpur village. As I told you, it's not a map. Now the same landform, if you want to show it on a map, how you show it? This Nimpur village drawing, you have to show it on a map. How do you do it? Let's try to understand that. See, I want to show the beautiful mountains. I want to show these houses. I want to show this temple, everything on a map. But I cannot show it just like these drawing. One thing you should keep it in your mind, that maps should not hide the places which are behind them. Here in this drawing, the height of the hillside, here the height of the hills hide what is behind them, isn't it? Hills, what is behind them? What is behind the hills? Can you see? You can't see, because these hills are too high that they are hiding the things which are behind. Behind the hills, there can be some place, right? So what you have behind the hills, that is not visible in this drawing. But a map should not be like this. A map should not hide any object, anything, any area which is behind the hills. So for that sake, we cannot draw hills like this on a map. Then what to do? How to make a map of Nimpur village? For that, let us try to know the height. As I told you that physical map shows the landform, and at the same time it shows the height of a place. So here heights are given to you. Nimpur village is at 50 meters. As I told you, all heights are calculated from sea level. Sea level is considered to be as 0 degrees. From sea level, the Nimpur village is at 50 meters, temple is at 100 meters, and the top of the hill is at 150 meters. Okay, so these are the heights. Heights are given to you. Now you know the height of a place, you know how the landform is, you know how the Nimpur village is, you know the height of the Nimpur village. So when you know both of this, you can make a physical map of Nimpur village. So how do you do it? In order to make a physical map of the Nimpur village, you need to draw contour lines. What do you need to draw? You need to draw contour lines. So what are these contour lines? Let us try to understand it. Okay, see, as you can see in the given figure, these are the contour lines. Here this is the sea level, which is at 0 meters. Then here this is Nimpur village. What is the height of the Nimpur village? You know that Nimpur village is at 50 meters. Okay, so this contour line indicates that this is 50 meters contour line. Whatever houses you have here on this contour line, the height of all those houses will be 50, and temple is at 100 meters. Okay, Nimpur village is at 50 meters, temple is at 100 meters, and you know that the top of the hill is at 150 meters. So how this contour lines are drawn, how I can draw this contour lines, let us try to understand. You should know first of all what is a contour line. Very clearly it is mentioned to you, it is a line joining places with equal heights on the map. This is one contour line, right? As you can see in the given figure, this is one contour line. This is 50 meters contour line. We have seen just now in the before page that Nimpur village is at 50 meters. So this line, this is 50 meters contour line. Okay, so contour is a line joining places with equal heights on the map. Now, whatever places are here, okay, here imagine this is Nimpur village, okay, and at a distance here you have some other place where some other people live, okay, or you can just imagine that here is your house, here is your friend's house, here is your another friend's house, here is your relative's house. So all of you, your friend, your another friend, your neighbor, your relative, they all are living at the same height, that is 50 meters. This is a line and it joins only those places which are at equal height on a map. So this line indicates that this is 50 meters contour line. Okay, it is a line which joins places with equal heights on a map, equal heights. So this line is a 50-meter contour line. All the places which you have here, the height of those places will be 50 meters, whether it is an Nimpur village or you can take one school, you can take one playground, whatever it is. The height of the school, playground, Nimpur village, all those will be 50 meters itself. Okay, that you have to keep it in your mind. It is a line which joins places with equal heights on the map. Now, how this contour line is drawn? See, contour lines are irregular in shape. Very clearly it is mentioned to you, contour lines are irregular in shape. They do not have any shape. Don't think that contour lines are circular or contour lines have any particular shape. No, contour lines do not have any specific shape. They are irregular in shape. They do not have any particular shape. What shape the landform has, the same shape the contour lines take. Okay, these lines are drawn depending upon the landform. Okay, depending upon the shape of the landform, contour lines are drawn. Okay, how the landform is, the contour lines will be like that. So depending upon the shape of the landform, contour lines are drawn. They do not have any specific shape. The shape of the contour lines depends on the shape of the landform. Then the next most important thing which you have to keep it in your mind is the distance between two contour lines will depend on the landscape. See, this is 50 meters contour line, this is 100 meters contour line. The distance, you can see there is a distance 1500, there is a distance of 50 meters, right? So the distance between two contour lines depends on the landscape. We have seen in the given figure that village is at Nimpur village is at 50 meters, temple is at 100 meters. So depending upon the height, we have drawn these two contour lines. Okay, if it was given that school is at 70 meters, then we would have drawn another contour line somewhere here. Okay, so what can be the height or what can be the distance between the two contour lines? That depends on the landscape. These contour lines can be near to each other or can be far to each other, depends on the landscape. As the distance from Nimpur village to temple is 50 meters, so you can find there is a distance between these two contour lines. If the temple might have been at 70 meters, then these two contour lines might have near to each other. Okay, so the distance between two contour lines depend on the landscape, and when they can be near to each other, as I told you, they can be near to each other if the land has these two contour lines can be near to each other if the land has a steep climb. If the land has steep climb, these contour lines will be near to each other. If the slope is gentle, they will be quite far from each other. See here Nimpur village and temple, the land is not having a steep climb. The land is having a gentle slope. Slope is not steep. If it is given like this, then it is called a steep slope. Here the land is having a gentle slope. As the land is having a gentle slope, contour lines are quite far from each other. If the land has steep slope, if the land has steep climb, then contour lines might have been near to each other. These are the things which you have to remember when you are studying about contour lines. These contour lines are very helpful to make a physical map of Nimpur village. So here, with the help of these contour lines, the physical map is made. So even you can make a map of contour lines. So even you can take any landform and you can even make map with the use of contour lines. You can take any landform and you can draw the physical features of that landform with the use of contour lines. How to do that, I'll explain you later. Let's move to the uses of maps showing heights. As I told you, physical maps have two important features. Physical maps are used to show the landform, and at the same time they are used to depict the height of a place. So if you know the height of a place, what are its uses? See, physical maps are useful to understand the nature of terrain. Is it the place where we are living? Is it a plain region, plateau region, a hilly region? That we can know with the help of physical map. If you study the physical map, then you can know the nature of terrain, how the terrain is. Terrain means landform, how the landform is. You can know. Okay. If you look at the physical map of Telangana, which is given to you in the next page. So if you look at the physical map of Telangana, you can see the physical features of Telangana map here. You can see the physical features of Telangana. See, in this key, heights are given to you: 0 to 150 MSL, 150 to 300, 300 to 600, 600 to 1200. So heights are given. So here the dark color which is given, these are the low-lying regions. The height of this region is in between 0 to 150 MSL, mean sea level. If you talk about our Hyderabad, here is Hyderabad. Height is in between 600 to 1200. Most of the regions of our Hyderabad is in between 300 to 600, right? Here, this color. So 300 to 600. Got it? Now you can see the rivers Godavari, Krishna. Here you can see the flow of river Godavari, and here you can see the flow of river Krishna. Godavari flows in the north of Telangana and river Krishna flows in the south of Telangana. See how they are flowing? They are flowing from this region. The height is 300 to 600. From there it is coming down to this color. See, light green color, height is 150 to 300. Okay, from there it is moving to the region of dark green color. The height is 0 to 150 msl. You know that water always flows from upwards towards downwards. So this is how the water is moving. The river Godavari and the river Krishna both are flowing in the west direction. Okay, Godavari is flowing in the northwest direction, Krishna is flowing in the right hand side. Godavari is flowing in the northeast direction and Krishna is flowing in the southeast direction. So this both the rivers are flowing in the right hand side. They are flowing towards right side, so they are flowing in the east direction. Godavari is in the north of Telangana, Krishna is in the south of Telangana. Okay, so how the slope is? The slope of Telangana, there is a slope in the east side. Our Telangana state has slope towards the east, means the districts which are in the western side of our country, they are on a hilly region, and the districts which are in the east side, they are on a lower region. So that's why we also say the districts which are in the west as upper Telangana plateau and the districts which are in east are called as lower Telangana plateau. We know that the complete Telangana state is a plateau region, but the height is not same, the landform is not uniform. The districts which are in the west direction, they are on a high elevation, and the districts which are on the east side, they are on a low elevation. So higher Telangana plateau and lower Telangana plateau. Now let's study about mean sea level. What is this MSL or mean sea level? As I told you in the beginning that all heights are calculated from sea level. You know that sea level is never still. Sea water is never still. Sometimes due to high tides the water rises up, and sometimes due to low tides the level of the water of the sea goes down. So how to calculate the mean sea level? Mean means average. So the average of high and low tides is taken by the scientists, and they have calculated that as 0. Okay, all the heights are measured from sea level, and that sea level is considered to be as 0 meters. Over a period of time, scientists have done all these calculations. Now, when do they get average level or mean level of the sea? See, high tides come when there is full moon day, and low tides come when there is no moon. Okay, high tides on full moon day, low tides on crescent or no moon day. So the average of it, when you can see the half moon in the sky, that time you can calculate the mean level of the sea. Scientists have done that. They have calculated the mean level of the sea, and from the mean level of the sea the areas of all that the regions are calculated. Okay, so if you go to any railway station, you might have observed there it will be mentioned to you what will be the height of the railway station, whether it is at 400 msl, 500 msl, 600 msl, it will be clearly mentioned to you. If you talk about our Hyderabad city, as I told you, it is in between 600 to 1200 msl. Mostly the areas in which we live in Hyderabad are in between 400 or in